Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera. Good evening, konnichiwa to ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Uthm-Kure Kosen Intercultural Exchange Program. My name is Nurhasni Hussein, and I will be serving as your moderator today. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Honorable Professor Dr. Chan Cheming, the Director, Universiti Hussein on Malaysia International Office. Dr. Noor Azizi bin Yusuf from UTHM Research Center for Soft Soil. Professor Dr. Takinawa from Kure Kosen National Institute of Technology, Kure College. Mr. Muhammad Fahmi bin Zakaria, Assistant District Officer of Muar City. Dr. Shahmir Hayan bin Sanusi, Program Manager from Head of Department of International Mobility. Madam Hiyama Junko, Japanese Language Coordinator. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Without further ado, I would like to welcome the Chairman, Professor Dr. Chan Cheming, the Director of UTHM International Office, to deliver his speech.
All right, a very good afternoon, everyone, and konnichiwa to our friends and colleagues from the Korea, Japan. So a very warm welcome to our Uthm-Kure Kosen Intercultural Exchange Program this afternoon. It will be about 2:07 in Malaysia. What time is it in Japan now? Is it 1 hour ahead of us? Is that right? Okay. So again, let me just address the dignitaries here. Very warm welcome to our distinguished guest, Professor Dr. Takinawa from Kure Kosen, and Muhammad Fahmi Zakaria, the Assistant District Officer of Muar City. And on our side, we have Dr. Noor Azizi, Head of Research Center for Soft Soils, UTHM, and not forgetting our Program Manager today, Dr. Shamir from International Office, and the key player to bring this all together, Hiyama Sensei from the Center for Language Studies, UTHM, and all the crew members here in the university who are behind the scenes and making this happen today. So thank you very much, everyone, for bringing this together. And one more time, thank you very much for being here. To all participants, and especially the students from both sides of the institutions, whether it's you are from Kure or from UTHM. Right. So as you know, we bring this program together and created this platform so that our students could have a virtual mobility, even though it's just for a few hours today. And we know that the global pandemic situation is causing us some quote unquote inconvenience and limitations in terms of physical movement across the borders. Now that has taken a lot of the fun and the adventure of going into other cultures and places to immerse in their country. We have had inbound and outbound mobility of students to various places, including Japan. Then we look forward to students from Korea to come to us physically to Muar, the district of Muar, and also to Batu Pahat, the university, be it the campus in Paraja or Pago, for your adventure when you're here. And just a quick reminder to have this platform, my dear students, it's our hope that you will find this cultural exchange between Malaysia and Japan and a fun and interesting one. This is not just all about learning, right? It's not all study and all work and no play will make Jack a dull boy. So we hope that this will take you away from your busy study schedule in your respective institutions, and you will take this opportunity to learn about each other's culture. Why? Simply because young boys and girls, young men and women here, you are the future generation of leaders in the world. We know that the national borders are all dissolving. We need not be physically in a place to conduct a certain investigation, research, meetings, discussion. We don't need to do that anymore. We can be having this engagement just like what we are doing now virtually. Hence, it is important to learn about each other's culture, each other's language, each other's way of thinking and livelihood, so that we could communicate better. And we do know that communication is the basis of harmony. Right? So we do not want our future leaders to be living in their own silo, knowing only about themselves and their own world, but they know about the world beyond them. And that will actually help you, my dear students, to adapt to your respective career in future. Because as I said earlier, as the world becomes one in terms of the boundary, you see that when you get to know more friends out there of different backgrounds, different nationality, different culture from you, you learn to be more flexible and understanding and more acceptable towards other people. So with that, I shall pass on the session to the moderator. Again, I hope you have a good adventure this afternoon and enjoy yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the opening speech by Professor Dr. Chan. And now we will now go to the first section, which is introduction of research and activities. Both Dr. Noor Azizi and Dr. Takinawa specialize in civil engineering. They are sharing what currently be enlightening to all students and staff. Now let's put our hands together for TS Dr. Noor Azizi bin Yusuf from Uthm Research Center for Soft Soil, Faculty of Civil Engineering and Built Environment for his presentation.
Assalamualaikum and very afternoon to everyone. So thank you very much. So welcome to this event. Okay. So thank you very much, Professor Chan, for a brief introduction. So we welcome you to this event for this evening. So this evening I'm going to have about 10 minutes to share our quick view of my R&D journey. So this is the presentation together with Panoyati and also Chung Kian Wai from the company. So hopefully it will give some overview about our activity. Yes, next please. Okay, so this is my presentation layout. So I share a little bit about my PhD study, and then after that silent filing technology, early research initiative. After my PhD, recent activities and acknowledgement, but it's going to be a quick one, this one. Okay, so this is basically during my PhD. Next. Okay. And then this is something that I did together with the Japanese company called Presin Technology. Right, so when I was in England, so I worked together with the Japanese company to prepare an instrument. So this is the layout during that time. And from there, we continue and develop this equipment for civil engineering purposes. Okay, and this is how it's looked like, the journey. And I get some results, and then after that, I get my PhD. But it is not as that easy though, doing PhD, but well, it's very brief. And then I'm working together with one of the Japanese company. This is one of the innovative, technology from Japan. Next, and it is very good and environmental friendly, technology. Okay, and as you can see over here, if you are in civil engineering and piling industry, normally it's very noisy, but this technology is a lot more silent. Okay, so this is how it looked like. Okay. Okay, and this is some of the application in the reality. Okay, and then this is basically how the technology works, but it is basically installing a sheet pile. And this is how the advanced the technology is. You can see that small machine represent that this machine provided by this technology, whereby others, is having still bulky machine. Well, you can see, traditionally, this big machine may be dangerous, but the good thing about this technology, it, prevent you to face this problem. Well, we do a lot of, using a lot of steel material for this technology. Okay, so these are some of the instruments, some of the equipment developed by Kitamura Sensei, in which based in Shikoku Island, Kochi City. He already developed this technology for more than 50 years. So then this is basically a part of the application in civil engineering. Right. Well, after that, this is basically our activity from 2011 onwards. So since I did my PhD in these particular things, and then when I returned back to Malaysia, so we had several projects in Malaysia. In what you see over here is MRT station in Bukit Bintang. So we work together, with the student, with the industries. Okay, this is some of the view in our civil engineering application in Malaysia. Okay. Well, we also do some research together with my students. We did some surveys, okay? And then from that survey, we try to understand what can we do in Malaysia, for example. Okay, so we did some seminars and then we did some intervention and many more activities. Well, these are some of the research together with the Japanese counterpart. So I'm privileged to have this experience together with my Japanese colleague. Well, some of my students, they are very lucky. They work together in the real world, so then they can appreciate this technology more. Well, this is also some of the students' initiative, more on the laboratory, tests. And we did also a lot of engagement with the industry and the people around us. Well, so these are some of other activities. And this is basically my recent activities. This is basically in Muar. Some of the part over here is actually facing a problem in regards to the pit forest, pit fire. We try to do something over here to preserve and to safeguard this situation. So this is one of the places in Muar in which is covered by peatland, and it is very vulnerable to pit fire. Well, we did a lot of expedition. I hope our Japanese counterpart can come here and then appreciate the beauty of our forest. So these are some of the photos in our activities, some of the photos. It is very nice to have this sort of things in the future. Well, this is also some of our activities together with our Japanese counterpart in Muar. Thank you very much, Yama Sensei, in which, having your friend over here. Okay, so many students went to Muar. I hope Kure Kosen and everyone from there can come, hopefully next year. Regardless of this pandemic, maybe we can manage this well. This is basically my International President Association friend from Japan who also come to Muar and appreciate our back lanes. All right, so in summary, basically my early research at the University of Sheffield, United Kingdom in 2007 and Japan triggered this initiative. And I do believe a good relationship between academia, industry, and other stakeholders is important in promoting a sustainable technology. Okay, so I would like to acknowledge thanks to Uthm International Office, National Institute of Technology, Kure College, Muar District Office, Research Center for Soft Soil, Uthm Center of Language Study, Faculty of Civil and Built Environment, and more importantly, for our global team who broadcast our event today. I hope I used well my 10 minutes. Thank you very much. Arigato gozaimasu to everyone. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum. Salam sejahtera.
Thank you, Dr. Azizi, for that presentation. Maybe some participants have some question. Please post your question on the chat box. We will have a Q&A after the student's presentation. Next, we will like to have Dr. Daisuke Takinawa from Kure Kosen to make his presentation.
Can you see my slide? Okay.
Yes, we can see it clearly. Thank you.
So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Daisuke Tanikawa from Kure Kosen. I'm glad to present my research activity in this exchange program. So today's my research topic is development of sustainable wastewater treatment system for agro-industries in Southeastern Asia. At first, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Daisuke Tanikawa, Associate Professor of Kure Kosen, and my main research topics is waste and wastewater treatment. One of my target is agro industry in Southeastern Asia. And I have experience to participate in a research project in Malaysia for the palm oil industry and in Vietnam for the natural rubber industry. So in Malaysian project, we collaborated with Cerium and Samdabi. And at this time, I stay at Sharam for 2.5 years. So I'm a little bit familiar in Malaysia. Here is me. So during this project, we conducted a survey of greenhouse gases emission from a present wastewater treatment system. So as a result of the survey, the approximately 40 million tons of carbon dioxide per year of the greenhouse gases were emitted from not only palm oil industry, but also natural rubber industry. So the reduction of greenhouse gases emissions should be required for these agro industry in the wastewater treatment system. So to reduce the greenhouse gases emission from the wastewater treatment system, we proposed some new technology. It is a high-rate wastewater treatment system. The reversible flow anaerobic baffled reactor, RABR, for the palm oil industry, and the combination system of the upflow anaerobic sludge blanket, USB, and downflow hanging sponge, DHS system for natural rubber industry. So these systems indicate the good performance with reduction of the greenhouse gases emission. It can reduce more than 90% of the greenhouse gases emission from present wastewater treatment system. But this system also requires high engineering skills and construction and operating costs. So I thought during this project that a high-rate system required for these industries. I think the answer is no. So these industry require the low cost, low energy, and easy operation and maintenance for the wastewater treatment. In the most of the factory in the agro industry in Southeastern Asia, utilizing the lagoon system for the wastewater treatment, it consisted with the anaerobic lagoon, aerobic lagoon, and polishing lagoon. So this system can operate very easy and maintenance also very easy, but there are some problems. One problem is the greenhouse gases emission from anaerobic lagoon. So in anaerobic lagoon, the organic matters and the nitrogen in the wastewater was removed and converted to methane and nitrous oxide. They are the strong greenhouse gases. And another problem is in aerobic lagoon, the large amount of energy was consumed for the aeration, and also it produced a large amount of excess sludge. The part of excess sludge was separated and collected from the polishing lagoon, and it utilized for the fertilizer for the plantation. So I would like to propose some solution to solve these problems. So to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions, it is the one solution, main solution is the recovery and purification of biogas. It is a methane as energy resources and utilized for the processing line. And another solution is nitrogen and nutrients removal by using the primary producer, such as algae or plants. So they can use the nitrogen and some nutrients directly, and no need to produce the excess sludge. So to solve this problem, we conducted some research in our laboratory. This is the purification and utilization of a biogas system. So normally, the purification of biogas was conducted by the dry desulfurization process, but it takes high operating cost. So I proposed a wet desulfurization system like this, equip the biomass in the plantation, such as a coconut chip or something. So by using this system, the biogas produced from the anaerobic system supply from the bottom of the column, then the effluent of the wastewater treatment system is supplied from the top of the column. So in this system, the hydrogen sulfide can be dissolved into this water. Then the effluent can be treated the wastewater treatment system. And also the biomass carrier can be discarded to the plantation, so it can be returned to soils in the plantation. So it is a material recycled in the plantation system. And the recovered biogas, the form of the methane, can be utilized as fuel or power for some agro-industrial products, production of some agro-industrial products. And to reduce the capital cost, this system better to combine with a covered lagoon system. It can installed by low capital cost. And nitrogen removal by the primary producer is also the one sustainable way for the wastewater treatment. This is a algal tank system in actual natural rubber wastewater treatment system in Vietnam. So in this system, the only one pump can operate by only one pump, and oxygen can be supplied by the algae by a photosynthetic reaction. And most of the ammonia can be removed and converted to the algae. So, but this system still have one problem, is the separation of algae is required. So to solve this problem, one solution is the sand filtration by constructed wetland. We conducted some other research in my laboratory. This is the influence of the constructed wetland, and this is the outlet. So in the constructed wetland, the algae can be separated by the sand filtration, and also the nitrogen can be utilized by the plants. It is a tomato. And after constructed wetland, clean water can be recovered. So to combine these technology, I would like to propose one form of the sustainable wastewater treatment for agro-industry. It's based on the present system. At first, the anaerobic lagoon modified to the covered lagoon, then the greenhouse gases can be recovered as methane. It is energy by combination with the wet desulfurization column. And it can be utilized for the processing line. And aerobic lagoon modified to the algal tank, after the power consumption for the aeration can be reduced. Then the polishing lagoon modified to the constructed wetland. So it can remove nitrogen and also cultivate the plants. And part of the final effluent also can be utilized as a general service water in the factory. So this proposed system can reduce both the construction costs and operation costs with resource recovery, and also the utilization of fuel and water for processing line can be reduced. So we also evaluated the carbon footprint of our proposed system. This is the actual system. Then modified to the proposed system, after the greenhouse gases emission from wastewater treatment system can be reduced 42 tons to 0.00001 tons CO2 per ton rubber production. And this recovered methane can be utilized for the processing line. Then the greenhouse gases emission from processing line also can be reduced. So it can contribute to reduction of greenhouse gases emission and energy consumption in whole of the plantation. So finally, I would like to conclude my research. So keywords for the sustainable wastewater treatment are the pollutants to resources, direct resource recovery, and effective utilization of present system, and sustainable wastewater treatment based on the material cycling in ecosystem. So thank you for your kind attention, and I hope we can collaborate together in future. Thank you.
Thank you. Arigatou gozaimashita, Dr. Takinawa, for the most insightful presentation. The following session will be for students from both UTHM and Kure Kosen to share their research studies in their respective institution. From the Postgraduate Faculty of Civil Engineering and Built Environment, UTHM, we have Mr. Muhammad Aiman Sharul Kalam. Mr. Muhammad Aiman.
Can you guys see my slide?
Yes, you can see it clearly.
Okay. A very good afternoon. My name is Muhammad Aiman bin Sharul Kalam from Department of Civil Engineering and Build. Today, I will be present about the study of steel corrosion behavior. For the introduction, there are three keywords. First one is corrosion. Second one is steel structure, and finally is the deterioration. Corrosion is the degradation of the material properties due to interaction of steel with their environments, and corrosion of steel is almost inevitable. Loss of material and strength of steel structure due to corrosion can have severe consequences in terms of finance and safety and convenience. Recently, there are growing of attention to corrosion phenomenon resulting from the spread of damage on the steel structure. When the damage is greatly enlarged, expensive maintenance and replacement are required for the safe and reliable use of construction. Even the serviceability of the structure is not compromised, the deterioration of the appearance produces reduced value of construction. What is the differences between the steel and alloy? Steel is an alloy consisting of iron and carbon, which is less than 2%. It may also contain some other elements apart from carbon and iron, example of chromium, nickel, and manganese. The major component of steel is iron, a metal that is in pure state. It is not much harder than copper. There are three types, which is mild steel, medium carbon steel, and high carbon steel. Second one is alloy. It is a homogeneous mixture of metal with other types of element. Alloys are designed for getting specific resistance to factors like machinability, wearability, and strength. Some alloys also blended with non-metal. There are 5 types of alloy, which is brass, combination of copper and zinc, bronze, a combination of copper and tin, aluminum alloy, nickel, and titanium alloy. The corrosion phenomenon of metals and alloy involve mainly 2 elements, the material and its environment. There are 5 bases of corrosive environment that I want to highlight here. First one is the microbial and bacterial corrosion, which are associated with the presence of microorganisms and bacteria on the metal surface that occurs in fresh or seawater as well in soil. As you can see on the top right, these are the microbial and bacterial corrosion. Second one is the gases corrosion, occurs when the dry gas in the main corrosive agent, mainly from sulfur dioxide and chloride gases, and there is not liquid layer on the surface. Third one is the marine corrosion, due to the seawater acting in the emission and or a splash zone, and underground corrosion related to corrosion in soil, especially in pit which is an acidic soil. Finally is an atmospheric corrosion, a consequences of wet and dry cycles induced by rainfall and metal condensation, which produce thin water film at the metal surface. For the next slide, this is the corrosivity of acidic soil environment. Most corrosive soil are those with low pH, which are acidic, high moisture content, high concentration of chloride and sulfates. Although soil corrosion phenomenon has been understood, the underground steel structure deterioration to corrosive soil are still uncontrollable and unavoidable despite the use of protective coatings and techniques such as cathodic protection. The corrosion rate of buried steel structure in soil increases with the increase in moisture content up to critical moisture and chloride values. The corrosivity of soil to buried steel structures is mainly influenced by 6 soil parameters such as moisture content, pH, resistivity, oxidation, reduction potential, chloride contents, and also sulfide contents. The acidity, pH, and the moisture content of soil is the most important key factors influencing corrosion of buried steel structures. On the left table is the correlation between the soil resistivity, water chloride concentration, water soluble sulfate concentration, and pH in the soil to the degree of the corrosivity. As you can see, on the top is the very severe corrosivity versus the on the bottom one is the mild corrosivity of the acidic soil environment. For the right table is the correlation between the pH of the acidic soil and the classification of the corrosivity. This is the X-ray analysis of the corrosion product. For the first one is the optical observation of the carbon steel corrosion. From the initial observation, you can see there is no rust formation on the metal surface, followed up by the 14 days observation and 30 days observation. From the 30 days observation, you can see the abundance of rust formation on the steel surface. The next one is the scanning electron microscopy, 500 times of the observation of carbon steel. From the initial observation, there is no porosity, and the surface of the steel is very smooth compared to 14 days observation and 30 days observation. From the 30 days observation, you can see the porosity and the surface roughness of the metal surface increases. Next one is the X-ray diffraction pattern of the rust layer formed with upper and without lower the surface treatment after 30 days. There is a differentiation between the corrosion product. As you can see at the bottom one, with the surface treatment, there is no hematite and magnetite formation compared to the corrosion product on the upper one. The next one is the laser Raman pattern on the corrosion product of the steel, which are lepidocrite, geotite, archegonite, hematite, and magnemite, and also magnetite. For the conclusion, the acidic soil environment with high sulfate and chloride concentration increases the corrosion rate on any buried steel structure. The formation of corrosion product can be seen from the scanning electron microscopy result, where the shape of thicker, brittle, porous layer and cracked surface was produced. And last one, the X-ray diffraction analysis provided quantitative information on the composition of the corrosion product. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ayman, for the wonderful presentation. Now from Kure Kosen, let's welcome Ms. Kaomiano. Let's watch the video together.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kaomiano. Today, I'd like to talk about my research titled Fundamental Study on Communication for Safe Crossing at Crosswalk Without Traffic Signals. First, the background of my survey. At crosswalks without traffic signals, pedestrians have priority to vehicles, and vehicles are obligated to yield. However, this is not sufficiently prevalent. According to a survey conducted in 2018, the average percentage of vehicles stopping when pedestrians are waiting beside the crosswalk without traffic signals, it is as low as 8.6%. This issue is not only a matter of obeying or not obeying the law, but also a matter of safety. In order to cross the street safely and protect yourself, you need to be considerate not only to drivers, but also to pedestrians. The purpose of this study is to investigate the communication between pedestrians and drivers for safe crossing and to identify crossing behaviors that make it easier for vehicles to stop. From this section prevents analysis of crossing characteristics in a model crosswalk. Video observation surveys were conducted to record whether vehicles stopped or not at a typical crosswalk without traffic signals. When they are pedestrians waiting to cross, the relationship among the stopping or pausing of vehicles and the characteristics of the vehicle and the characteristics and behavior of the pedestrians is analyzed using multivariate analysis. The research was conducted at a crosswalk without traffic signals in front of my college, where there is a T intersection with narrow street that few vehicles flow in and out. I set up a video camera here to observe what kind of actions pedestrians take to make it easier for cars to stop. The survey was conducted for 2 days, April 21st and 28th. 2003 vehicles passed through the area, and 109 pedestrians wait for vehicles to pause at crosswalks. This is an item for tabulation and analysis. I conducted a survey focusing on the pedestrian side and the vehicle side in the item listed here. Next are the results of the survey. I focused on the pedestrian side, the attribute of the process. There are more than few minutes using crosswalk, and there was no significant difference in the number of people wearing plain clothes and those wearing uniforms. In terms of personal clothing, backpacks were the most common item used, partly due to the location of the school near the crosswalk. As for the number of people waiting at the same time to cross, more than 60% of the respondents were crossing alone, and the number of sample decreased as the number of people crossing at the same time increased. In terms of line of sight, the majority of Respondents slowly checked left and right. Raising one's hand is one of the safest ways to cross a crosswalk. But in this survey, no one raised their hand. Here are the results of the survey on the vehicle side. The most common type of vehicle was a standard car, accounting for 50 of the total, followed by light cars. The most common direction of travel was from the Hiro area to the Kure area. This is the percentage of vehicles that stopped. Of the vehicle of the total, 60% of the vehicles stopped. This is an aside, but when I served weather courses bailed out drivers to express gratitude after they stopped. More than 80% of them did. The next section presents the results of the constituent analysis. The objective variable is where or not the vehicle is stopped, where 1 is stopped and 0 is not stopped. The explanatory variable are the pedestrian line of sight and 10 items. Standing position at the bell block, standing position at the crosswalk, positions, crossing, gender, crossing method, number of people crossing at the same time, direction of vehicle travel, and vehicle type. Focusing on the high person fraction coefficient, I can see that there is a tendency for vehicle to stop more often when pedestrians check left and right. I guess this is because the pedestrian's intention to cross is easily conveyed to the driver. In addition, vehicles tend to stop more often when pedestrians are on blind spot or closer to the roadway, when they are waiting on bicycle, and when there are more people waiting at the same time. I guess those are because pedestrians are easier visible to drivers. When there are vehicles in both directions, there tend to be fewer vehicles to stop. This is probably because two vehicles need to pause at the same time, which is more difficult than stopping a single vehicle. Light vehicles also tend to stop fewer vehicles. Finally, summary and future tasks. In the case I observed, 60% of the cars stopped. It is also guessed that the easier it is for drivers to recognize pedestrians or recognize their intention to cross, the easier it is for cars to stop. For example, the more people are waiting close, and the closer the waiting position is to the road, the easier it is for drivers to recognize pedestrians. And when pedestrians take the action of checking left and right, the easier it is for them to recognize the intention to cross. I will conduct further research in the future to if the type of vehicle and where or not there is a car in front of the vehicle affects the stopping of the vehicle. I will also conduct a survey at a different crosswalk than the one I served this time. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, arigatou gozaimashita, Ms. Marina, for a meaningful presentation. Now let's open this session for Q&A. if you have any question, please post it in the chat box and I will read it for you. Okay, so for the first question, question to Professor Takinawa from Azizi from UTHM. What will be the main challenges for this technology if you would like to install it in Malaysia? And for the second question, what is the most suitable agro industry in which may fit with this technology? Professor Dr. Takinawa, maybe you can answer this question.
Okay, thank you for your question, Professor Azizi. So the answer for question one. So I think the covered lagoon system is already applied in case of Malaysia, the Malaysian palm oil industry. So the main purpose of this system, proposed system, is a reduction of greenhouse gases. But so the covered lagoon is maybe easy to apply for the industry, but the combination with algal tank and constructed wetland system is still not applied for these industries. So, and I think still have some problems for the application. So now we investigated these performance and also find the problems of this system. And so, and to second question, in case of Malaysia, I think the palm oil mill already utilize the closed anaerobic system, and so to reduce the greenhouse gases emission. So to remove our nitrogen, I think the natural rubber process is suitable because it still consumes a large amount of energy and cost for the nitrogen removal. And also that to purify the biogas, so I think molasses industry, such as the bioethanol industry, is suitable because it in the biogas produced from this industry contains a high concentration of the hydrogen sulfide. So if they would like to recover the biogas, it takes many costs for the desulfurization by using the present dry desulfurization system. So, so I think yeah, and I hope to these my proposed system targeted to the major agro industry in Southeastern Asia, such as palm oil, natural rubber, molasses, and cassava. So I would like to challenge to this system to apply to all of these agro industries. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Tanikawa, for the answer. If there's any more questions, please post in the chat box. If not, we'll move to the next session. Next session. Now let's move to the session 2 to introduce the institution and local community of both Kure Kosen and UTHM. Then we'll be learning about the national language of Japan and Malaysia respectively. Let's start with an introduction to the local community of Muar City near UTHM. We will now play a lovely video of Muar City.
Bandar Maharani Bandar Diraja merupakan nama rasmi bagi Bandar Muar. Daerah Muar bukan sahaja sebagai bandar diraja tetapi dipilih sebagai bandar terbersih di Asia Tenggara. Pengiktirafan tersebut telah memberi nilai tambah pada Bandar Muar untuk meningkatkan pelancongan domestik dan antarabangsa, ditambah pula dengan nilai-nilai warisan sejarah silam yang terdapat di daerah ini. Keunikan kebudayaan, makanan dan sejarah Muar merupakan ciri-ciri yang dapat menarik lebih ramai pelancong untuk berkunjung ke daerah ini. Seperti yang diketahui umum, Muar merupakan bandar yang menjadi tarikan pelancong kerana terkenal dengan keunikan makanan tradisi dan budayanya yang tersendiri. Selain dari hidangan lontong dan mie rebus, Mi Bandung serta sate juga menjadi menu sarapan pagi yang istimewa dan unik di Muar. Tidak lupa juga, kopi 434 adalah kopi tradisional yang menjadi pilihan utama dengan keunikan rasa dan aromanya yang menarik. Terdapat bangunan-bangunan lama yang mempunyai nilai sejarah dan warisannya tersendiri di daerah ini. Bandar Muar juga merupakan tarikan mural untuk tatapan pelancong. Beberapa lukisan mural di bangunan-bangunan yang terdapat di sekitar Bandar Muar telah diiktiraf sebagai lukisan mural terbesar oleh The Guinness World Malaysia Book of Record. Lorong-lorong belakang juga dipelihara dan dijadikan salah satu tempat tarikan untuk dilawati. Selain daripada itu, bangunan-bangunan bersejarah tinggalan warisan juga merupakan tarikan pelancongan di Muar. Bangunan-bangunan kerajaan yang seni reka bentuknya dan arkitekturnya masih dikekalkan. Masjid Sultan Ibrahim dan Masjid Sultan Ismail juga merupakan salah satu landmark di mana kedua-dua masjid tersebut mempunyai reka bentuk yang sama dan hanya dipisahkan oleh Sungai Muar. Selain daripada kesenian permainan muzik, tarian dan budaya kehidupan, dialek percakapan orang Muar yang tersendiri juga adalah sesuatu yang sangat unik. 80% nursery di negeri Johor adalah terletak di Muar. Ia juga merupakan pusat lanskap yang terbesar iaitu lebih 300 nursery tanaman hiasan dan lanskap yang ada di Muar. Bagi perusahaan nursery juga, mereka mempunyai persatuan sendiri yang dikenali sebagai Persatuan Industri Semayan Johor di mana 90% pemilik nursery berdaftar dengan persatuan ini. Daerah Muar juga dikenali sebagai Bandar Perabot Malaysia. Ianya merupakan pengeluar perabot yang terkenal di peringkat antarabangsa. Reka bentuk perabot yang dipasarkan adalah hasil seni anak tempatan dan mendapat sambutan di peringkat global. Pengusaha-pengusaha perabot Muar bersama-sama membangun di bawah Persatuan Muar Furniture Association MFA. Ternyata Muar berada di kedudukan nombor 12 bagi negara yang mengekspor perabot terbesar dan berada di kedudukan nombor 1 bagi daerah yang mengekspor perabot di Malaysia. Ini telah menjadi satu pencapaian yang dibanggakan bagi daerah Muar. Sejajar dengan pertumbuhan ekonomi, hub pendidikan tinggi yang terbesar di Malaysia terletak di Pagoh Muar. Ianya merupakan satu kawasan perbandaran pendidikan yang terancang yang meletakkan 4 buah institusi iaitu Universiti Tun Hussein Malaysia, Universiti Teknologi Malaysia, International Islamic University Malaysia dan Politeknik Tun Said Nasir. Hub pendidikan ini juga merupakan fasiliti gunasama untuk siswa-siswi bagi melakukan aktiviti. Dengan adanya hub pendidikan ini, secara tidak langsung, kita menerima siswa-siswi dan tenaga pengajar serta kaki tangan pentadbiran yang datang dari pelbagai negeri dan negara. Ini juga adalah peluang bagi mereka untuk mengenali Muar. Jika dilihat, Muar merupakan satu bandar yang kecil. Namun, tanpa disedari, Muar merupakan daerah yang sangat kaya dengan pelbagai aspek. 4 kluster ini telah membuktikan Muar semakin membangun dari segi ekonomi, pendidikan, pelancongan dan perniagaan. Kita dapat lihat suatu hari nanti, Muar akan menjadi satu bandar yang ekonominya sangat pesat berkembang dengan pelbagai sumber pendapatan kegiatan ekonomi seterusnya menyusul sebagai bandar yang paling terkenal di Malaysia.
As you have seen from the video, you can see that Muar is a beautiful city and a dynamic city. You also learned that there are many interesting places in Muar, be it in nature, historical site, and urban area. Indeed, the city of Muar is constantly being improved and upgraded to meet the comfort of its residents. Next, let's welcome Mr. Muhammad Fahmi bin Zakaria, Assistant District Officer on behalf of Tuan Haji Mustafa, Muar District Officer, to introduce about Muar City. Mr. Muhammad Fahmi, the floor is yours.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon to Professor, Doctor, and ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for inviting me to share some information and input regarding more planning specifically towards community-based tourism. So first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Muhammad bin Zakaria. I'm serving as Assistant District Officer. I'm glad to send the regards from my DO, Tuan Haji Mustafa Kamal bin Datuk Haji Samsudin. So this is an opportunity to Pejabat Daerah Muar Muar District Office to be counterpart as a strategic friends, partner to UTHM and the Kure Kosen International Exchange Program. So can you share my slide? Sorry. Okay. Basically, my topic today is going to share about the Muar Perkasa 2030. In other words, Mighty Muar 2030. This is the main agenda of our DO, Tuan Haji Mustafa Kamal, which dream for district to become transform more in a society to become a prosperous district in 10 years. Next. Why 2030? It is because our local planning is set for 2030, the changing. So the local plan is our guidance and our reference to the development of society and the infrastructure. So who going to involve? So all the agency and more community regarding all the age, race and religious and belief. So we target by 1st January of 2030. So the inspiring of Mighty Muar for the prosperity of district can be shared to all the community of Muar. So next. So basically in Muar, under Tuan Haji Mustafa Kamal, so we have been set our main agenda or our agenda towards year. So starting 2018, we have our team for the management and development of district So this the list So in 2021, we focus for the empower the community and agency towards the more prosperous. Next. So today my sharing is focus for the if we see the video previous, basically more have been set for the four pillars, education hub, nursery hub, Prabut, and the last one is tourism. So regarding towards the tourism, we try to detail out the tourism towards community-based tourism. So why community-based tourism? Because we see that the product and the real tourism is experience from the activity of people and so we try to share and give the experience to the tourists or the people outside Muar to feel what have in Muar. So we have been identified the focus and we list out for 4 clusters in CBT. So next. This is the mapping of Muar. Basically, Muar consists area of Mukim. So we try to divide this and mapping towards the locality of the area of product lah. So we have 4 clusters. The first one is Tanjung Emas Mokil, the red one. So the second one is Tanjung Ketapang Sungai Balang cluster, the green, which for apa tu in front of Malacca Street. The third cluster is Pakri and Aitam, which my friend previously have shared about the Hutan Taman Negeri just now, Pai Gambut. So the last one is cluster apa tu Maharani Town. So in this cluster, we have list out and identify the product, the package that can empower the community lah. So in district office and local authority, we have support them to the initiative and program that can be give the added value for them lah, such product development, cost, and the product planning about the infrastructure development. Next. So this one is the list of package for the cluster 1. So we have in Muar, the common and the famous one is Mi Bandung lah. So if my friend from Japan or from outside who come Muar, so must try the Mi Bandung lah, because the Mi Bandung is the more product or unique product. So in cluster Tanjung Mas Mokil, we have Sungai Muar, Muar River, the only and the river that unique lah, have to consist of Tangkak and Selamat from the Pahang. So in river, they have a lot of other what we call aquaculture species like udang galah, ikan sungai. So this one is the new attraction. So we set the committee, the nelayan, so to try to promote the activity in the value added. So we develop the floating restaurant. So the tourists or the people can come and experience the food and also they experience the view or the feeling of the river and the environment. So the next one. Next. So this one is the product that have been included in the first cluster. So the photo, we have the mountain of and we have river, udang galah, and we also in Pancho have the rabbit hub. So next. So this one is the second cluster. This one is we have Malacca Street. So the fishermen have hatcheries of kerang-kerangan, and then we also try to empower them for our traditional food and traditional cultural, like Keraton Embah. Next, the photo. Next. So the third one is Aitam cluster Bakri. This one is we have Hutan Simpan Taman Negeri. That one the unique one is they have endemic species which called ikan beta, beta persephone. So we try to conserve the species. We try to build the center for conserve activity lah, and we try to give the awareness for the public and the community to save and conserve the rainforest or the species. We also have the IKS product like crepe and nenas, pineapple. So next, this our program together with DO and the community. Next, the last one, this one, Hutan Taman Negeri. We have been organized a program with community and agency. So this one is interesting place lah to visit, and we believe that our community will gain the positive and gain the benefit lah from the this CBT program. So next, the last one is the cluster Maharani Town, which so-called the historical building, the festival or the food, traditional food, and we also have the new place that have been developed by local council, local authority in our Tanjung Mas Square. So next, we can share the photo. This the interesting place. We also have tiram, the tiram in Sungai Muar that have been preserved for almost more than 100 years. So this unique product, we try to develop and empower that, so community can get the added value from this product, and at the same time we try to engage with the university and researcher to give the best practice how to sustain, how to maintain the source of tiram, so that the source can be sustained for in future lah, before we start to commercialize in a big scale. So this sort of our initiative and program towards empowerment of the community in an economic sector by tourism, because we believe that our community can be empowered and can be developed in an economic area, because if the economic is good, so they can give back to the public and the society. So next, so these are several program or initiative that we have run, and we still in the planning to run. So we divide by quick win program, medium, and the long-term program in our planning towards CBT. So next, we have been identify our players, our community that have the potential. So we collaborate with the Universiti, UTSM, UPM, UIA, and many more universities to promote and get the best initiative. And we try to establish our package, and we organize an event as a visit to see what the needs, and we try to facilitate the entrepreneur and the industrial players, especially in tourism, with the technical and funding for the future opportunity. And we also organize a retreat and focus group discussion for develop their product and try to give the cost. So next, we can show you the picture of our program before this. So we just start in the beginning. So we believe that with support from all the parties that involved, either agency, community, and in private. So we can achieve our target to empower the community-based tourism, because the community-based tourism is the new initiative that try to implement. So we hope that we can collaborate with all parties, the academic, industry, and also the agency. So I think this is just a quick sharing from me regarding the Muar, especially about the community-based tourism. So there are many more. So we would like to invite our friend to come visit Muar, so we can share a lot of view and initiative to the benefit of Muar itself. So I think that's my sharing and my presentation. So thanks for the opportunity. Thanks for the platform. That's all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fahmi, for the very informative presentation. I hope our Japanese participant will able to visit UTSM and Muar City one day. Now it's time for us to watch the video of Kure Hiroshima, where Kure Kosen is located. Let's enjoy the video together. From the video, now we know a little bit about Kure Hiroshima. Let's go for more personal introduction to Hiroshima Kure City in Japan and Kure Kosen. Let's watch Ms. Sachi Arata from Kure Kosen to introduce their city and institute.
We are going to introduce our school. First of all, please look at the pictures. The Japanese territory is located in the region East Asia to the east of the Eurasian continent. It is surrounded by the Pacific Ocean, the Sea of Okhotsk, the Sea of Japan, and the East China Sea. Hiroshima is in the southwest of Japan. Kure City is located about 13 miles southeast of Hiroshima City, and it has a historic charm and scenic beauty on the Seto Island Sea. In the late 1890s, Kure City was selected as Japan's naval base to introduce the advanced technologies to construct and operate Western-style ships. During the World War II, Kure became an important base to support the Japan's best shipbuilding. At that time, Kure had the best equipment and cutting-edge technologies in the Orient. Therefore, Kure's navy built a number of battleships such as the battleship Yamato, which represented the Japanese navy. Since the World War II, Kure City has been industrial home of Japan's shipbuilding because of its high technology and well-trained engineers. By the seaside area of Kure Port, there is Yamato Museum to tell people about the history and development of shipbuilding technologies from those days. この世界の片隅に is an animated film about war. This anime is loved by all generations. The film is set in Kure City, Japan. It is a story of hope for those who have been exposed to the atomic bombing of Hiroshima, and how they find a way to live, and what family love is in the midst of war. This movie is also available on Netflix, so please watch it while feeling the history. The Ondo Bridge. It is located in Kure City. The structure of this bridge is rare in the world. Despite the fact that the land in this location is little, people had to construct a very high bridge to allow large car ships to pass through. In addition, civil inspections are used to create the shapes of this bridge. When this bridge was completed, it was called Dream Bridge by local people, and that made people's lifestyle more comfortable. Now it is famous for tourist spots to enjoy the view. National Institute of Technology Kosen Kure College is a 5-year engineering course starting 50 years old age. Most of Malaysian students enter Kosen from third grade after upper secondary education in Malaysia. In Japan, we have 51 Kosens, and Kure Kosen is one of them. In our school, for the first 3 years, students need to wear school uniform. That is like other high school students in Japan. From fourth grade, students enjoy their own fashion, which is also same style as other university or college students in Japan. Departments and specific research are different depending on each Kosen, and Kure Kosen have 4 departments: mechanical engineering, electrical engineering and information science, and civil and environmental engineering, and architecture and structure engineering. In mechanical engineering, students learn about manufacturing by lectures and experiments. In classroom lectures, we need to study dynamics about materials, fluids, and thermodynamics. In experiment classes, we get skills through dealing with lathes, milling, and welding machinery. In electrical engineering and information science, our goal is to develop human resources with technical abilities, not only in electrical engineering, but also information science. From the fourth grade, more applied research program is available through special lectures, advances, exercises, and graduation teachers. In civil and environmental engineering, students build knowledge and skill to create social infrastructure style. For example, bridge, tunnel, and roads. Those learning are necessary for humans to live comfortable and safety along with our nature. In architecture and structural engineering, students acquire technical knowledge and skills to plan and design safe and comfortable living space, ranging from small private homes to large cities. The curriculum includes building construction environment, computer drawing, computer graphics, and architectural model production. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening.
Thank you for the amazing presentation. I hope one day we will be able to visit Hiroshima and Kure City. Dear participants, we will have a Q&A session after the introduction of UTHM. If you have any question, please post your question in the chat box. Now let's look at the introduction of UTHM visual told by Dr. Shamir Hayyan bin Sanusi from International Office, University, Hussein.
All right, hello everyone. So I would like to welcome you virtually to UTHM. So in order to bring you to UTHM virtually, you can type in Google UTHM virtual tour and you click the virtual campus tour. So it will bring you to this site in which you can scan if you have the Zappa application. In here, you can have access to all of the virtual AR, VR UTHM in here. So I would like to welcome you to UTHM. This is our main entrance. So you can do it by your own in future. So in UTHM, we've got a lot of iconic building, such as our library, which is the largest in Southeast Asia. We are also equipped with advanced teaching facilities, such as this one, which is our aircraft maintenance hangar under the Faculty of Mechanical Engineering and Manufacturing. And we also equip with high-tech lab equipments. For example, this is a microelectronics lab, which is MIN SRC. So let's start with exploring our iconic building in 360 degree. So this is actually the library of UTHM, which is the main icon of UTHM. As I mentioned, it is the largest in Southeast Asia. Around it, you can see that the blue one, if I zoom in here, it's actually our mosque. So from top, the design, you can see it's a moon and a stars, which resembles Islamic geometry. So basically, this is an aerial view of UTHM. And this is our convocation hall, okay, which is located opposite to the library. And this is the place or some of the faculties. So if you view it directly from this website, you can click on some of these icons to get some details of some of the faculties or buildings that we have in UTHM. Moving on, I would like to bring you to our advanced teaching facilities. So this is our aircraft maintenance hangar. And in here, you can see that we have two types of aircraft, which is a Learjet, and the second one is an amphibian aircraft. So basically, the students under the Faculty of Mechanical Engineering and Manufacturing, they will learn on how to maintain the aircraft, which includes the engine, system, and so on. So if I can zoom it here, you can see that with them, we explore, which is the tagline of UTHM. So these are the views of the maintenance hangar. And next is some of the labs that we have, research labs or research center that we have in UTHM. Basically, this is a MIN SRC, one of our prestigious labs that focus on microelectronics and nanotechnology. So in here, there are a lot of facilities that is related to electronics, research, and so on. And we are also equipped with cargo drone labs, in which it is known as sea drone, whereby it's a very large drone that can carry a weight of 200 kilograms. So basically, this is how it looks like. I'm sorry if the view is not nice because I'm using my phone. So this is the view around the labs. Some of the researchers and the research students conduct their research related to drone in here. So it is equipped with a latest technology of drone. And at the moment, we are currently producing our own drone. So that's all from me. It's a quick review. Hope you can explore it by yourself. And hopefully when the borders open, you can come physically to UTHM to experience it physically. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Shahir, for that stunning UTHM visual tour. Next, I would like to introduce UTHM student Ms. Ng Lek Min, Ms. Tan Yu Han, Ms. Tan Wan Yuan, and Ms. Lim Ying Yan will guide you about UTHM. Please enjoy watching the video.
Universiti Tunku Sengkang, Malaysia start off on 16 September 1993, known as Pusat Latihan Staff Polytechnic (PLSP), to train and produce polytechnic academic staff in various engineering fields. The location of the UTHM Parit Raja is located at Persiaran Tun Dr. Ismail Jalan Pulang Parit Raja. The distance from KLIA to UTHM is 242 kilometers. It takes 2 hours and 35 minutes to get from the KLIA to UTHM Parit Raja by the car. If you take the bus, it will take 3 hours and 30 minutes to arrive the UTHM Parit Raja. This is the faculty in UTHM Parit Raja. There are many faculty. The first faculty is Faculty of Civil Engineering and Built Environment, FKAB. The second faculty is Faculty of Mechanical and Manufacturing Engineering, FKMP. Next one is Faculty of Technical and Vocational Education, FPTV. The following is Faculty of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, FKEE. This is Faculty of Technology Management and Business, FPTP. The last faculty is Faculty of Computer Science and Information Technology, FSKTF.
There are many facilities in UTHM Parit Raja that provided by the university, that is, library. UTHM library known as Uthm-Kure Kosen Library. It has 4 courts with sport facilities, such as badminton court, tennis court, gymnasium, athletic stadium, and the last one is volleyball court. The university also provides IT infrastructure, such as computer labs and Wi-Fi service. Religious facilities and student service center. The religious facilities is mosque, and the student service center is career development and counseling, mini post office, and cafeteria. UTHM has another campus in Bago. These are the photos of Bago campus UTHM. UTHM Bago campus is strategically located in the educational hub Malaysia Bago, just off the Bago interchange of the North-South Expressway, only 20 minutes from the royal town of Muar District. UTHM Bago is located at Jorak. The distance from KLIA to UTHM Bago is 176 km. It takes 1 hour and 15 minutes to get from KLIA. Faculty in UTHM Bago, they have Center for Diploma Studies, Faculty of Applied Science and Technology, and Faculty of Engineering Technology. The facilities of Bago UTHM. Their first facilities is library. They have 3 stories of shared facilities library.
UTHM Bago sport facilities are football field, lawn bowling field, rugby field, volleyball courts, hockey field, and basketball courts. UTHM Pago also share facilities with other universities. The shared facilities are canteen, conventional hall, lecturer hall, multipurpose hall, surau, and guest house. Achievement UTHM. UTHM is ranked 5 stars in the category of teachings, employability, innovation, online learning, inclusiveness, and generous service structures.
Thank you for the great video. I hope you can take something from the explanation. Well, as you know, I'm also a UTHM student, but due to the pandemic, I could not fully studying on campus. But despite of that, I have the opportunity to be part of a student leadership council here in one of the residential college here in UTHM. From that, I have gained many experience and valuable memories from them. I also met a lot of friends here, but from that, I hope if the pandemic is cured, sorry, we hope to fully study in campus one day. All right, now we come to question and answer session. If you have any question, please post in the chat box. This is a question from UTHM student for Kure Kosen. In Japan, how do you preserve the remains of war such like Yamato warship? And second question, what kind of engineering job is popular in Japan? I hope representative from Kure Kosen will answer this question because it's a question from UTHM student.
Question 1. Sorry, I don't know. Number 2, what kind of engineering job is popular in Japan? I think architecture is the most famous and popular in Japan. Sorry, thank you.
I see. So is architecture is one of the engineering job is popular in Japan. You can see that. Okay. If there is no more question, we'll move to the next session. Okay. Now we'll proceed to the introduction of each language by Kure Kosen and UTHM student, including international student. We would like to introduce about Malay language by UTHM student by Mr. Muhammad Fikri bin Haris Fadila and Ms. Chan Yiling. Please enjoy watching the video.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat petang. Konnichiwa. Watashi wa Muhammadu Fikri desu. Hajimemashite. Do you know there's a saying in Malay that goes, tak kenal maka tak cinta. It means if you don't know, then you don't love it. So I will introduce to you about Bahasa Melayu to make you fall in love with it. For me, Malay language is infused with fineness and subtlety, making it one of the most beautiful language in the world. Just look at the phrase like minta diri, langkah kanan, or terima kasih. Its translation into another language failed to capture its embedded cultural values, rendering it literal in impact. Malay has many dialects, and each dialect has significant differences in terms of pronunciation and vocabulary. Malay is also the national language of Malaysia, Indonesia, Brunei, and Singapore. Apart from the 4 countries, the Malay language is also spoken by the Malay population in southern Thailand, southern Philippines, Cambodia, southern Vietnam, Sri Lanka, and South Africa. Just like Japanese writing system, Bahasa Melayu also have two writing types that were Jawi and Romance. Jawi writing used Arabic alphabet, meanwhile the other one used Roman alphabet that were used in English. But nowadays, we rarely use Jawi writings.
Selamat petang. Konnichiwa. Watashi wa ilin desu. Hajimemashite. Now, I will present the perkataan salam. So guys, please try to repeat after me. Selamat pagi. Ohayo gozaimasu. Selamat tengah hari. Konnichiwa. Selamat petang. Konbanwa. Selamat malam. Oyasuminasai. Selamat means safe and peace. In Malay, we often use selamat, and pagi in Japanese is asa. Tengah hari, hiru. Petang, yukata. And malam is yoru. In our life, we often to say thank you or sorry to friends, family, or others. So now, I will introduce this word in Malay and Japanese language. Guys, please try to repeat after me. Terima kasih. Arigatou gozaimasu. Sama-sama. Doi tashimashite. Maaf. Gomen. Tiada masalah. Daijoubu. Do you know how to say Monday to Sunday in Malay language? In this table, show the name of the week in Malay and Japanese language. And this word comes from Arabic language. Isnin, Gesuyobi, Selasa, Kayobi, Rabu, Suyobi, Kamis, Mokuyobi, Jumaat, Kinyobi, Sabtu, Doyobi, Ahad, Nichiyobi.
In Malay, we have a kind of poet called pantun. It is basically a sentence of words that rhymes. Two sentences to be the pembayang, allusion, and two sentences to make the meaning. The four stanza poem has 4 lines. The syllables for each line are from 10 to 12 syllables. The last rhyme of the poem must be AB, consists of allusion and meanings. These are examples of pantun that were 10 manners, mana turegi in Japanese. Burung serindik terbang melayang, terhenti hinggap di ranting mati, bukan ringgit dipandang orang, tetapi memandang bahasa dan budi. Tegak rumah kerana sendi, runtuh sendi, rumah binasa. Tegak bangsa kerana budi, runtuh budi, hilanglah bangsa. Yang kurik itu kundi, yang merah itu saga, yang baik itu budi, yang indah itu bahasa. The first section means people do not look at wealth, people look for language and etiquettes. The second section means nations are tough because of manner. Lost the manner, then collapse the nation. And the third section means the good things are the manners and the wonderful things is the language. Sajak, syair and puisi. Sajak and puisi are actually not much different, but puisi is more difficult to understand and guess its meanings. However, both have the same shape and both are very concerned with beauty and language proficiency. Puisi needs to be conveyed implicitly and its meaning is difficult to understand. If the meaning is easy to understand, it is no longer puisi, it's just a sajak. However, if the puisi is too vague in meaning, like puisi from as Amin or Nur SI, for example, it is something that is not good either. Syair is kind of singing puisi. It originated in Persia and was brought into the Nusantara, currently Malaysia and Indonesia, along with the advent of Islam. The poem was modified according to the susceptibility of the classical Malay language at that time. These are the example of sajak, syair and puisi. Sekian, terima kasih. And this is an example of Indonesian dialect pantun to saying goodbye. Awakarino pantun des. Jangan tebang kayu yang basah, buat masak takkan beres. Selamat jalan, selamat berpisah. Semoga semuanya semakin sukses. If it directly translated to its means, don't cut with wood, cooking with wood. Goodbye and farewell. Hope everything is more successful. Sayonara, minasama no seiko oinori shimasu.
Thank you for the interesting presentation. I hope the Japanese student can learn about Malay language and culture. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Noriko Shinkoshi from Kure Kosen to give presentation on their Japanese language. Let's watch together. 一緒に見ましょう。
Let's learn Japanese language together. First of all, please watch a video. この世界の片隅に。
すずさん、わしとすずさんが初めて会うたんはこの橋の上じゃった。もうあの頃には戻らん。この町もわしらも変わり続けていくんじゃろうが、わしはすずさんがいつでもわかる。ここへほくろがあるけすぐわかるで。
周作さん、ありがとう。この世界の片隅にうちを見つけてくれて。ほんでも離れんで、ずっとそばにおってください。
Thank you for watching the video. How many Japanese phrases could you understand? Second of all, I'm going to teach you one of Japanese phrases from the video. ありがとう。この世界の片隅にうちを見つけてくれて。ありがとう。この世界の片隅にうちを見つけてくれて。Which means, thank you for finding me in this corner of the world. Let's see this phrase dividing some parts. ありがとう means thank you. この世界の片隅に means in this corner of the world. And うちを見つけてくれて means for finding me. Let's say this phrase again. ありがとう。この世界の片隅にうちを見つけてくれて。Third of all, I'm going to introduce some words in Hiroshima dialect. It is said Hiroshima Ben in Japanese and only spoken in Hiroshima Prefecture. I is said washi or uchi in Hiroshima Ben. Although washi is often used between old men, uchi is often used between young women like my generation. Also, the picture of this bird is called washi, and the picture of this house is called uchi. So it may be helpful if you know about it. So is often said jake in Hiroshima Ben. As a side note, ken is used in the end of the sentence when local people in Hiroshima want to express so. Difficult is often said itashi, and on the contrary, easy is often said miyasui in Hiroshima Ben. Insanely is often said erai in Hiroshima Ben. However, erai means intelligent in Japanese standard language, so please just keep in your mind. Let's make a sentence in Hiroshima Ben by using some of these words. じゃけ広島弁はえらいいたしい。
Could you understand the meaning of this sentence? It means, so Hiroshima dialect is insanely difficult in Japanese standard language. Please repeat after me. じゃけ、広島弁はえらいいたしい。There are many other Hiroshima ben, so you can search by yourselves on the internet if you are interested in it. Finally, I'm going to tell you the meaning of kure. Kure has some meaning in Japanese. Please, come, dusk, city, and local character. Please come to Kure means Kure ni kite kure. You should come to Kure means Kure ni kureba ii no ni. And the words of dusk means Kure in Japanese. Moreover, the city we live in is called Kureshi, and the local character of Kure City is named Kureshi. I hope you will become interested in Japanese more and will remember some words in Hiroshima dialect from this presentation. Thank you very much.
Okay, for the question from Kure student, why did you start studying Japanese? Well, for me, why I start studying Japanese because I learned from the culture, and I think that Japanese is a beautiful language, and I also like to read all about Japanese culture, and that makes me want to learn about Japanese more, and I want to learn more about their culture. That is all from me. I hope that answers your question. And for the final session for today is story reading in Japanese, English, and Malay by the students. The first story title is Komoe House in English by Miss Natsuke Morimoto from Kure Kosen. The storybook was originally written in Japanese. You can find the story on the NPO Tadoko website. You can have the link in the chat box. Please visit the website if you have the time. Now let's watch the video together.
Humor House, things each of us can do. Do you know this person? He is Mr. Friday Shumo, an American. Do you know this house? It's in Hiroshima. Mr. Shumo built this house. Why did he build it? At 8:15 on the morning of August 6, 1945, the United States dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima. Many people died. There were no trees or flowers left. There were no houses left. There was nothing there. The face of people became very gloomy. In the United States, Mr. Schumer heard the news of the atomic bomb. His face became gloomy too. I will go to Hiroshima. I want to say I am sorry, but just saying sorry is not enough. He said, I know I will build the houses in Hiroshima with my own hands. Mr. Schumer wrote letters to many people in the United States. Let's build houses in Hiroshima. We need a lot of money. Please donate money. A lot of people, even children, donated money. In the summer of 1949, Mr. Schumer came to Japan with 3 other Americans. At Hiroshima Station, the governor of Hiroshima Prefecture, the mayor of Hiroshima City, and many other people waited to meet them. Many different people, such as a carpenter and the students, came to help build the house. I'll also build it with you. I will too. I will too. They laid heavy ties on the roof together. They held the long tinder beams together. It was quite a hard work, but they had fun because they worked together. Children also came and made their garden together. Let's take a break. They ate watermelon together. How do Americans eat watermelon? The children asked Mr. Schumer. Mr. Schumer opened his mouth wide and ate his rice. Ah ha ha, ha ha ha. The face of children became bright. Every child came to like Mr. Schumer. The houses were built in Hiroshima City. A lot of people came to see the new houses and said, "Great! Clean water! Indoor toilet! I'd like to live here." Everyone's face lighted up. The mayor of Hiroshima City said, "These houses are named Schumer House." But Mr. Schumer said, "We built them together using money from people in the US. I prefer the name Peace House." The houses were named Peace House. Mr. Schumer and his fellows built 20 houses and one community house in Hiroshima City in 5 years. Various people lived there. Now, only the community house remains. Its current name is Schumer House. Mr. Schumer used to say, "War made the face of people gloomy. But we worked together, and then everyone's face became bright. A smiling face. There is peace. It's you and I. Every person creates peace." Thank you for listening.
Next will be the Malaysian famous story about Princess on the Ladang Mountain in Japanese by Mr. Muhammad Naim bin Abdul Hakim and Ms. Tan Hui En and Ms. Ng Ken Hop. For information, these students are studying the Japanese language here in UTHM. Let's enjoy watching.
レダンの山の物語。レダンサはマレーシアのジョホール州にあります。珍しい木や花が多く、きれいな滝もあります。昔々、レダンサにきれいなお姫様が魔法使いのおばあさんと一緒に住んでいました。隣の国マラッカにマフームドというスルタンがいました。このスルタンはレダンの山のお姫様と結婚したいと思いました。ある日スルタン一番強い家来のハントワにいました。レダンの山のお姫様に会いに行ってください。スルタンにはもう一番目の奥さんと子供がいました。あと他の家来たちはレダンさんへ行きました。あとはとても疲れましたから、ママとにレダンの山のお姫様に行ってきてくださいと言いました。お姫様の家に着きました。お姫様の家は不思議な家でした。家の中から魔法使いのおばあさんが出てきて、ママと話しました。
おばさんはお姫様の言葉を伝えました。7つのものをください。そうすれば、スルタンと結婚します。1つ目は蚊の心臓大皿7皿です。2つ目はのみの心臓大皿7皿です。3つ目はビノのジュースを亀7杯です。 4つ目は女の子の涙をかみななはいです。5つ目はマラッカからレランサまでの金の橋です。6つ目はレランサからマラッカまでの銀の橋です。7つ目は後で言います。
ママとは山を下り、半島に会いました。半島は言いました。そうですか。お姫様のお願いは難しいです。その他に諦めてくださいと言ってください。半島はとても悲しかったので消えてしまいました。ママとはその他にお姫様のお願いと反応の言葉を知っていました。その他はお姫様のお願いに驚いて困りましたが諦めませんでした。6つの願いを叶えることができました。家来たちは橋を渡ってお姫様に会いに行きました。お姫様、ありがとう。7つのお願いがあります。と言いました。
7つ目のお願いは、シャワーいっぱいのスルタンの息子さんの字です。家来たちはお姫様のお願いをスルタンに言いました。スルタンはとても驚きました。そして長い間何もいませんでした。でも、スルタンはお姫様と結婚したかったので、息子の右の腕を切ろうと思いました。すると、突然、お姫様が光の中に現れました。お姫様は、やめてください。私は連打の山の姫です。あなたは息子さんの腕を切るのですか？とても悪い人です。私はあなたと結婚しません。お姫様はそう言って消えました。同じ時、火の端も金の端も消えました。スルタンも家来たちもとても驚きました。そしてみんな悲しくなりました。その後、誰も連打の山のお姫様を見ませんでした。でも、不思議なことがあります。連弾さんで、時々、魔法使いのおばあさんを見る人がいるそうです。魔法使いのおばあさんは、連打の山のお姫様ですか？ありがとうございます。
And the final one will be Putri Gunung Ledang. It's the same story, but in Malay by Mr. Fayad from Yemen, an international student here in Uthm. Please give a big applause to him.
Assalamualaikum. Very good evening to all of you. My name is Fayad Muhammad, and I'm from Yemen. My mother language is Arabic, but I love Bahasa Melayu. I'm doing PhD here in Faculty of Engineering Technology. So I'm going to give you a story about the princess of the mountain of Ladang in Johor. She is very beautiful, by the way. Kisah Putri Gunung Ledang. Gunung Ledang terletak di negeri Johor, Malaysia. Di gunung ini terdapat banyak tumbuhan-tumbuhan yang jarang ditemui, serta air terjun yang indah. Pada zaman dahulu, ada seorang putri yang cantik tinggal bersama seorang nenek kebayang di Gunung Ledang. Di negeri yang berjiran dengan Johor, yaitu Melaka, terdapat seorang raja yang memerintah bernama Sultan Mahmud. Baginda hendak mengkahwin putri Gunung Ledang. Pada suatu hari, Baginda telah bertitah kepada besar Baginda yang paling kuat, yaitu Hang Tuah. Pergilah kamu ke Gunung Ledang dan berjumpa Tuan Putri di sana. Ketika itu, Sultan sudah pun mempunyai istri dan seorang anak. Hang Tuah pun pergilah ke Gunung Ledang bersama-sama dengan pengikut-pengikutnya yang lain. Hang tua pula berasa terlalu letih. Oleh itu, beliau cakap kepada Tuan Mamat, Tuan, hamba pergilah berjumpa dengan Puteri Gunung Ledang. Tuan Mamat tetap berjaya sampai ke tempat tinggal Puteri Gunung Ledang. Tempatnya kelihatan sungguh aneh. Lalu keluarlah seorang nenek kebayan dan Tuan Mamat bertanyakan beberapa soalan. Nenek kebayan itu menyampaikan kata-kata Tuan Puteri bahawa dia akan mengkahwin Sultan Melaka jika baginda dapat menunaikan 7 perkara yang dia mahukan, iaitu yang pertama adalah 7 dulang hati nyamuk. Yang kedua adalah 7 dulang hati kuman. Yang ketiga adalah 7 tempayan air pinang muda. Yang keempat adalah 7 tempayan air mata anak dara. Yang kelima adalah jambatan emas dari Melaka ke Gunung Ledang. Yang keenam adalah jambatan perak dari Gunung Ledang ke Melaka. Yang ketujuh akan diberitahu kemudian. Tun Mamat turun dari Gunung Ledang dan berjumpa dengan Hang Tuah. Hang Tuah berkata, permintaan Tuan Puteri ini sukar untuk dipenuhi. Sampaikan pesanan hamba kepada tuanku perlu berputus asas untuk mengkahwin Puteri Gunung Ledang. Hang Tuah berasa sangat sedih, lalu menghilangkan diri. Tuan Mamat menyampaikan permintaan Puteri Gunung Ledang dan juga pesanan Hang Tuah kepada Sultan Melaka. Sultan Melaka berasa terkejut, terasa sukar pada permintaan. Namun, baginda tidak berputus asas. Akhirnya, baginda telah berjaya menunaikan 6 perkara. Bara membesar baginda menggunakan jambatan tersebut untuk berjumpa dengan Puteri Gunung Ledang. Puteri Gunung Ledang berkata, terima kasih, saya ada permintaan yang ketujuh. Permintaan ketujuhnya ialah semangkuk darah anak baginda. Pembesar Sultan menyampaikan permintaan Puteri Gunung Ledang kepada baginda Sultan. Sultan berasa sangat terkejut mendengar permintaan Tuan Puteri dan baginda terdiam. Sultan disebabkan Sultan hendak mengkahwin Puteri Gunung Ledang. Baginda telah cuba untuk memotong tangan anaknya. Hentikan semua ini. Bita ialah Puteri Gunung Ledang. Sanggup tuanku memotong tangan anak dia. Tuanku sungguh kejam. Bita takkan berkawan dengan tuanku. Kata Puteri Gunung Ledang dan hilang. Pada masa yang sama, kedua-dua jambatan emas dan perak turut menghilang. Sultan Melaka dan bara membesarnya rasa sangat terkejut dan sedih. Sejak peristiwa itu, tiada seorang pun yang berjaya memenuhi Puteri Gunung Ledang. Namun begitu, peristiwa aneh masih berlaku di Gunung Ledang. Kabarnya ada orang yang pernah nampak kelebat nenek kebayan. Mungkin ya nenek kebayan tersebut merupakan jelmaan Puteri Gunung Ledang. Sekian, terima kasih.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fayad. Well, before we end the session, there's a question for UTHM. Is the story Puteri Gunung Ledang common in Malaysia? And it's a very great pronunciation from the Japanese student. Yes, it's a very common story in Malaysia, very famous, all for other. And kudos for the student of UTHM for the great pronunciation in Japanese. Finally, we come to the end of our program. We would like to welcome again Professor Dr. Chan Che-Ming, Director of International Office, to give her closing speech as the final slot for the program.
Konnichiwa. Good, right. So well done, everyone. We have come to the end of our session today. And congratulations to all participants for all the amazing activities you are engaged in. We have had technical talks for our professors, our researchers, the head of research. We have had the presentations on their technical findings and technical research work by our students from both ends of the world, actually, one from Japan and also from Malaysia. And not forgetting the students having their cultural exchange. We have had storytellings and all that have been most fun. And you learned about the basic of the language from both countries. So I'm sure for these short 3 hours, about approximately 3 hours, you had 2 hours actually, you had quite some fun. And we hope it will actually take you away from your study, from your books, from your homework, from your assignments for a bit. And we also hope that the students will take this opportunity to exchange your communication details with your friends, from your newfound friends. So the UTHM students, don't forget to get up to speed with your friends from Japan and vice versa, so that you can make arrangement for our new, or rather our real physical engagement later on when the borders are open up. So I think with that, we have come to the end of our session. We look forward to see you again, whether in physical form or on this virtual platform. And to our colleagues, the Professor Takinawa in Kure, and also other friends over there, we are looking forward to more engagement with you guys, especially when the borders are open up, like the Sakura program and others. The students over there and the staff over there can come to our place. And we would also like to visit your beautiful city of Hiroshima and enjoy your culture over there. So with that, thank you very much, everyone. Well done to the organizing committee from both sides of the institutions. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor, for the closing speech. Dear participants, don't forget to fill your attendance in the Google form that is provided in the chat box. Okay, before ending this program, we will now take a photo session together. So if you can open your camera, please open it. Sih. Saya 1, 2, 3. Dan 1, 2, 3 gabung. Is everybody ready? If you are ready, please pause and love. Mini finger love. Okay. Okay, one and technical. Anybody taking the picture? Belum. Anybody? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, last. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you so much. That's all for the section. All for the section for photo session. Now we have officially ended the program. We would like to say thank you again. Thank you again to all the presenters for the informative and interesting talk, and to audience for active participation. Thank you for lending me your time, and hopefully this program will be beneficial for everybody. Thank you for your participation. Arigatou gozaimashita. Goodbye, sayonara. Mata ashita. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
谷川先生、遅くまでありがとうございました。
こちらこそありがとうございました。大変お世話になりました。
なんかもうそちら寒そうですね。寒そう気をつけてください。
ありがとうございます。またよろしくお願いします。
Apa?